Alright guys, this is a custom 14-pin lock built by Wayne Winton of Tri-County Locksmith. He calls it the Kraken. He did a video on it. All he said in the video is that it contains a wild variety of security pins and also threaded some of the chamber and some of the core. Kind of a, well, it is a very, very unique challenge lock. I did get it picked. It took me about 45 minutes, and now that I know that it is possible, that I do an introduction on the lock and then show you the tools. Obviously I'm going to have to use top of the keyway. I'm going to use a standard Sparrows triple peak rake. I'm going to use a deep hook built by Dan Morris. And then I had to make some picks because, as you can see, in order to reach into the back of this lock, a standard pick won't get you very far. Doesn't get you back there. So you'll see me working the front pins with the short picks, and then to get access to those back pins, I'm going to have to use these custom made picks that I made myself. This one probably looks very familiar, and that's because all I did was took a standard Sparrows hook, or a triple peak, cut off the handle and then ground it down. It's a full metal shank through there, so made it quite easy. Tough metal, just gotta be a little bit careful. It does get a little bit flexy when you have a shaft that's like 4 inches long, but it does give me access to the back of this lock. Just barely gives me a little bit of room to play with there to get a little bit of up and down action. So let me see if I can go ahead and lock this back up. I feel bad about locking it up. It took so much effort to get it unlocked, but I'm going to lock it back up. By the way, Wayne did give me again a handmade key. There's no bow on it, but it does work, this lock, incredibly. 14 pins. There's what your bitting looked like. He had to actually cut the bow off of a Stanley key and then hand file the warding into it. So that's why you see that little groove there. But I'm amazed that this lock even works. But let's get it put into the vise, and let's see if we can't get it picked again. Alright, here we go. I'm going to use top of the keyway, and it's probably going to fall out several times. I'm actually working this lock in halves. I'm first going to try to get a fault set by raking the front half of the lock, which would be roughly the first 7 pins. And then if I can get something there, or not, then I'll move to the longer rake and rake the back of the lock. Okay, I got nothing, so I'm going to move to the very long rake and see if I can't rake the back of it up. This rake is just a little bit fragile simply because of the length. I mean, the limits on metallurgy are what's holding us up on this lock. Okay, let me go back to the short one. Probably take us an hour to gut this thing if we ever get it picked again. But it's worth it. Wayne put a lot of work into this lock. Okay, I got nothing yet, guys. There's no fault set. I got no turn on the core yet. So I'm going to reset and let's try it again. Just trying to reduce the work a little bit. 14 pins, SPPing, take a while, especially reaching all the way in the back there. Even with that long pick, the longer your pick, the less feel you have, the less feedback you're able to pick up. So it's kind of difficult. I really would like to rake as many as I can in the back at least. The front, the first 7 pins, we can reach those. Okay. Let's see what we got. Start in the back. Feels like I'm picking a lock in the next county. Looking for some feedback. And in the back it feels like they are all still springy, so I'm going to move to the front half with a pick that I get a little bit better feel from. There we go. I got a little counter rotation on pin 3, I think it was. It's almost impossible to keep track when you have 14 pins moving around in there. There we go. I got a fault set. So that was pin 3. We got a little trickiness there. Now what I discovered, and picking on this lock for so long, is that after you set a security pin, it's probably going to pay you to go back and rake again, because I think there's a mixture of both security pins and standards. So after you pick a security, it might free up a standard, and he may be the one to be picked. So it could be a time saver, could be a waste of time. Alright, I'm going to try to rake the front, get a little bit better control upwards. Okay, I think I saved it by turning the pick. That's the danger of raking on the front. Alright. I do got a pretty good false set going. Okay, I'm on pin 2, got a little counter rotation. I'm not sure if that's the pin or if I'm on the warding. So before I commit, I want to be sure here. Okay, I think that's the pin. Give it a shot. Okay, something dropped. Okay, that was pin 2. Okay, I got pin 3. We have our false set back. Alright, let's get back to the raking. After you pick a security pin, see if you can rake something loose. And I felt something give on the core. We got a little bit further deep set, so I think I might have raked one in place. Let's check those back ones. I feel like I'm picking with a 2-iron here. Okay, that was pin, I believe 4. It's hard to tell. He was that far back, however, from the tip of my finger back. So somewhere deep in there we just set something. Okay, I'm on the front half again, so I'll move to my shorter pick, better control. Counter rotation on 3 again, and I got a good false set going now. Alright, I'm going to go back to the deep rake. If I can find him, here we go. This pile of stuff. Okay, rake the front. I felt no turn on the core, telling me that I probably have 2 security pins in a row. So the one I just picked, and we probably got to pick another one now. Yep, 2 security pins in a row. Alright, let's see if we can find them in the back first. Okay, I got a little bit deeper set. I just touched a pin and he was that far back, probably around number 6 or 7. Okay, let's check the ones in the front. Alright, there, got them all. Let's rake it again. See if we can find another standard. Hope it's not another security pin in a row. Alright, I got a little bit turn on the further turn on the core there. We have a very good false set going now. Let me turn this lock so you can see it. Really wild false set, so I have no idea what he's got in here. But if you are patient, you might find out if we get it picked. Okay, I touched pin number right at 5. I'm on probably around number 5 or 6, getting counter rotation. So we got a security pin there, hiding out. Okay, got him. That was a deep, deep spool. Wayne, you're a devil. Alright, I got no counter rotation. Let me check the front here. The short pick. I call it short with the normal pick. I got a little counter rotation on 2. Looked like he went home. So, okay, let's see if we can find another non-security pin. Okay, nothing. So means we have a security pin we got to beat before we can rake anything else. So let's find him. Okay, somebody in the front. I felt two of them give some counter rotation with that long pick. Okay, there we go. It felt like 3 set for us. Again, so he's kind of a gatekeeper, it looks like. I'm glad he's on the front. I'm glad it's not pin 14. Okay, that was about pin number 7. And I am feeling some crunching, so there's either some tapered pins in there or some serrateds. Alright, let's see if we can rake something up in the back. Oh no! I might have saved it. We still got our deep vault set. The hazards of light tension and raking. Very deep vault set now. I just got a little bit further turn on the core. This thing is, I don't know what's holding it. It's just barely hanging in there, fellas. Look at this vault set. There must be a pin in there with just a tapered tip. It's the only thing I can imagine that would give me that serious of a fault set. Okay, I'm on damn near the last pin. I'm getting counter rotation. Alright, I think I got him, but we lost a little bit of our fault set. And none of the other pins are talking so far. Feels like I still have 2 springy pins. So again, I'm going to try to find a non-security pin. Or at least a cooperative security pin. Nothing. We're going to have to do this the hard way. 1 pin at a time. We're going to have to find him. Pin 2, got a counter rotation. Something dropped in the back. Okay, there's pin 3 again. Fellas, I think all those front ones are pigged. So somebody in the back is hanging on. We have a resistor, a rebel. And I still have those 2 springy pins. Alright, let's take a chance, try to rake them again. Maybe we can rake the springy ones in place. And there we go. Alright. Kraken lock open for the 2nd time. Alright, nobody will believe this. If you just wanted to see the open, you can stop now. If you want to see the guts, stick around, because I didn't expect it to happen this fast. So we're going to need actually 2 pinning boards, because 14 pins. So we'll start with this one. I'm going to try not to lock it up, because I do have a key, but I'm not confident in it. This is going to be a long video, fellas, sorry, but when locks get complicated, when you have 14 pins, you can't do it in 5 minutes, which is always my goal. I know you guys sometimes get a little impatient, you got other important stuff to do, but complexity breeds time. Okay, see if I have a follower that is long enough. That is barely long enough. Oh, try not to do that, Bill. Alright, we had, looks like 3 pins fall out, and they are all standard pins, so I'm going to try to set this. Let's look at this. Alright, I don't know the order that these were in. Sorry I pushed it out and it was upside down, but they were all standard pins. I'm just going to set them here, and we'll keep dumping. Try not to do that again. Oh, I dropped 2 out of the back. My thumb wasn't quite on it. Alright, so these are also standard pins. That was 13 and 14. I'll put them on this other pinning tray. These bottom ones look like all standards. Okay, there's the first 7. There's a, look like a T-pin upside down. Okay, I missed one here because I got an extra pin. I don't know where he came from. Alright, let me clean this up and let's take a look at this thing. Unbelievable. Alright. First thing we're looking at, let me get a pic so I can point it out. We have counter milling in 1. 2 is standard. We have counter milling in 3. Standard. Counter milling in 4. We have threaded on 5. Looks like threading on 6. Threading on 7. Threading on 8. Threading on 9. And these are all different sizes, and you can see out of line as well. 10. Standard. Standard, it looks like. Counter milled on number 13 and number 14. Looks like he's also threaded. So now let's get to the hard part. Taking these bad boys out. Alright, 1, I'm seeing nothing in there. Maybe that's where that extra pin came from. 1 is empty. It just looks like it's threaded. 2 is a standard. 3 is a standard. 4 is a steel ASA pin. 5 is a key pin. God knows what he was doing up in there. 6 is another one of these ASAs. 7 is a nasty looking spool. I may have to buy some longer tweezers. Okay, we had a T-pin. Come out of there, you devil. Okay, we had a standard. Looks like another one of these nasty spools. Another standard. And there should be one left. And there is a standard. It is a key pin in the upper chamber. No idea what's going on here. Anyway, fellas, here's what we're looking at. I can't tell, but it appears that some of the holes in the Bible are threaded. Number 1 kind of bothers me. I can't get him to come out of there. He is. Number 1 did pop out, so he was a standard key pin. So key pins in the upper as well as lower, combined with threaded chambers in the Bible, threaded chambers and countermilling in the core, and then we have some pretty tricky pins. I can only imagine how difficult this would be if he were to fill up all 14 chambers with these nasty, these nasty looking ASAs, or if it was chock full of these real sharp, very deep spools. It'd be damn near impossible to open. Anyway, fellas, thanks for your time. Everybody stay safe, stay legal. And Wayne, thank you, sir, for the lock. I will put it back together and send it out to the next guy. What a nasty, nasty lock. Thanks, guys.